Hi there. I just wanted to, this is just to run through a quick reading that I did for regarding our current political situation, and then No King's Day 2 is tomorrow, which is uh, Saturday, October 18th, 2025. And I wanted to pull out three cards to represent three states, and then I wanted to pull out an additional card to represent the country or Washington, D.C., which is like the seat of the country. And the first state is the way I set up this reading is this is West Coast. This represents California, Oregon, and Washington. State of Washington. This represents Washington, D.C., or the seat of government. And what you see is the pictures, the drawings, the artwork is going to represent likely people. Definitely, this one here does represent Trump. This one would represent Governor Newsom. This one here hasn't come through quite yet what this represents. But what I'm seeing is there's two, from a distance, it appears as though this person is actually holding two bags. What this really is, it's people, it's children, it's the people, and they're kind of in a begging stance, sort of, but not wholly. They don't look. They look as though. Yeah, they're waiting for money. This person is dropping money into their hands. I think what we're seeing, I think what this represents generally is sort of a kind of just a decentralization of power in Oregon from sort of an old guard, perhaps. You can also see the discs, the coins. They actually present a crown. This person has been elected. I'm just not sure that it represents Governor Kotek. I think it's more representative of what the people voted for. And here's always the people that are voting are the ones that are affected the most or the left behind the most. And I think what this represents is that the people are voting for an energy to come back to them, for wealth to be redistributed back to them. And this is what's happening in Oregon. I believe this is what's happening in Oregon. You can see that people are sitting on increase and generous and benefit and reward. People are being rewarded for their actions. Over here in California, you can see that Governor Newsom, this is representing Governor Newsom definitely, and he's crafting. He's crafty. He's crafting. He's building. He's taken on Trump in a creative and crafty way. I don't say crafty, but he's crafting a method. He's crafting a method that the rest of the country or Californians can follow, or the West Coast can follow. And we're seeing this, that the West Coast is coming together to try and get together some sort of healthcare agreement between the states. I think that's what these. So that's what these two cards are representing: California, Oregon, and Washington State is pretty interesting because Washington State, you can see this is the Triumph card. This is the Ace of Swords. It rests on Triumph. Ultimately, all of our actions are wildly successful. What this represents with the Black Hand coming from universal consciousness, it's literally the oppressed, the elderly, the young. They're not taking back power. They've always had power, and what's happening with No Kings and No Kings 2, this effort, is that people are they're sort of claiming the power that they've already had. We already know that we've had this power. We just kind of have lazily, or I'm not sure what the mode would be, but we haven't wielded it until now, and this is what this represents. The universal consciousness, the Black Hand of universal consciousness is holding this sword upright. This is it's a stable victory, if you will. It's not a victory. It's not a war that we're fighting now. This is a victory in claiming the power finally that we've always been guaranteed, that we've always held, that the people have always had. And we go to Trump, and so this is California, Oregon, Washington. Trump, interestingly, what you see if you look closely at this artwork, there was an arrangement of flowers in the vase, in the vase. This is it's kind of a wand of sorts. It would be interesting to understand like what kind of a tool this is that he has. Um, he's the infinity sign here does represent his id, his need for power. His he can never be satisfied. He can never be satisfied with what he has. And what you'll notice is that if you look at the orientation of the cards, the ambition, the driven, the focus, the magician. This is the magician card. So this is a wand. But what he's done with the wand is he's ruined the flower arrangement. There was a beautiful flower arrangement here on the table and the vase and the chalice. He's ruined it. He's kept all of the power for himself. He's literally blocked off the rest of the United States, which is represented by all of this above. He's protected his table. He doesn't know what to do with the flowers, these beautiful, wonderful flower arrangement. He has no idea what to do with this. He's ruined it. Because he can only focus on himself. He does not understand what's behind him. He doesn't know how we got here. He doesn't understand how to share or collaborate. He only understands power. He understands violence. He understands greed. And this is what he's ended up with. He's alone. He's not, for being a musician, for being somebody that has a lot of power, he's not very well dressed. He's almost in rags. He's got his wand. He's still stirring up some magic, but it's bad. It's black magic. It's bad magic. It's damaging essentially anything in front of him. While behind him, interestingly enough, everything is still protected. We're all still protected. We are going to go forward, but we're not following him. We're all, we have all the money, we have all the power, we have the universal consciousness. He's left with nothing. He's left with ruined flowers. He's got a table. He'll have a place, but it's a very lonely place. He's very old. He's very sick. He's not long for the world. So perhaps that's what this represents. Also, is that he's actually in the process of leaving this realm. But anyway, that's the reading. I think this really bodes well for the No Kings 2 event tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see how many people show up in Centralia, Washington, which is where I'm living now. And so y'all get out there and do your thing, and wishing you all the best. People have the power.